Namaste. Welcome to this brief introduction about the course in Addwit Institute titled Addwit Money Matters. As the name implies, this course is all about money, discussions about money, perceptions and techniques about handling money. It is part of the Addwit framework for ethical prosperity, and there are a number of other courses and resources available on the Addwit platform which make the framework complete. But this course is a good 1 year long course, and in this introduction I will give an overview of all the three aspects: how, why, and the ROI, cost benefit analysis. Talking about how we are going to learn about money in this program, let me break down my response to 4 or 5 points. Number one, yes, learning about money is slightly complex and it is slightly intriguing to think about learning about money. You see, most of us begin our financial life without really getting any proper training, systematic training about handling money. We finish our education and immediately after that our career starts. So we start earning money and we start managing money. And normally we do it out of trial and error methods, doing it on the go, mostly following what is prevalent in the trend and what is being talked in the media or what our common sense says. But then you will agree that it is only after a few years, 5 years or 10 years down the line, that we realize that the direction of life and our finances are not in congruence with each other. So it ends up becoming a case of financial chaos. What we need is financial hygiene right from the beginning. So expecting that learning about money will happen as we start handling it is not really a very effective or very practical method. In most cases, it becomes like taking your brand new car on the highway without first learning the skills of driving. Addwit Money Matters brings a systematic body of awareness. It is based on almost 20 years of my experience of learning money systematically. Let me explain. Like most of us, I also started my career with the usual ambition any youth will have. There is nothing wrong in being ambitious. Now, like everyone else, I also started chasing the numbers. In the sense, I started working for promotions, I changed cities, I changed jobs. But then somewhere in 2001 or so, I came across this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki. And it was first time I realized that there are certain right principles to take care of your financial happiness. There are 6 principles that he talks about. I read the book, I felt clarity for first time. And talking about intellectual learning, it happened almost instantly. I immediately related with every word in that book because that book spoke my heart, my thought process also. I also was ambitious, no doubt about it. I also wanted to earn good amount of money, no doubt about it. But I didn't want to compromise with certain basic principles. You see, earning money is possible both in wrong ways and in right ways. I just didn't want to go the wrong way altogether. But then there was nothing which prior to Rich Dad Poor Dad taught me about money as systematically as that particular book did. I did take finance as one of the subjects for my MBA program, but then that covered nothing about personal finances as such. Having started about 20 years ago and then, being a disciple of whatever Robert Kiyosaki has been trying to teach through his books, after Rich Dad Poor Dad, I also read Cash Flow Quadrant and most importantly, the Guide to Investing. Now, there could be 2 ways we approach to learning: intellectual learning and experiential learning. Let me explain. It would take me not more than a month to finish reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and intellectually I would start understanding almost everything that book contained. I'd be able to talk in fairly impressive language about personal finances, at least in the audience where they have not read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. But that would be only intellectual, that will be only verbal conversation, so to say. Once I read that book 2 or 3 or 4 times, I almost resolved to live that book and the principles prescribed in that book in my personal life. Learning an idea intellectually could take a few minutes, but then to live that idea, it may take a number of years. Let me share only one example. One of the principles that Rich Dad Poor Dad teaches is that mind your own business. In simple words, it means that if you'd like to become rich, then sooner or later you have to have your own business. Now, as an idea, I guess it makes quite a common sense, as well as most of us know it, that it is the people in the business who are richer than others. While many people know that owning your own business is better for your personal prosperity, not many people really live that thought process. For me also, it was quite a transition, it was quite a challenge. I was living on salary month after month, and what Robert Kiyosaki calls moving from employee quadrant to business quadrant, minding my own business, and to learn it experientially has been quite a journey. Addwit Money Matters is sum and essence of the 20 years of experience in most simple language, in most doable way. You'd be able to start using the techniques and the ideas right from the word go. So the methodology that we take here is not motivational in nature. Also, it is not academic or intellectual in nature. Every discussion is going to be very, very practical. The average length of each video is about 10 minutes, so you will have to spare about half an hour during the week to watch those videos. And the live sessions could be anything between 45 minutes to 90 minutes. In Addwit terminology, we call it slow pace, long form engagement. Slow pace because we are not hurrying up learning about money, and long form because we are engaging in the learning process for good one long year, so that we can do reflective thinking, experiment with the ideas, experiment with the techniques that we have been learning. This way, when we come for the live discussions, we have sufficient ideas and perceptions to do what they say, connecting the dots. You have an opportunity to ask your questions and doubts and inhibitions. Of course, there are as many as 65 plus questions already covered in the recorded videos, because in the first phase of preparing these videos, we introduced as a daily video magazine. So in the recorded videos, here and there, you might find a mention of video magazine, but ultimately it was designed to be the material for a 1 year long course. So how we are going to learn? We are going to learn with a cordial conversation. We are going to have recorded videos. We are going to have live discussions. You are going to have a platform to ask your questions. There are going to be techniques. There are going to be illustrations. There are going to be downloadable tools. And intermittently, there may be a couple of quiz also. There may be a couple of tasks and small projects for you to do. Talking about how we are going to learn, I would like to add only one small point of view, and you will find it very interesting. There are a couple of things in life that we just cannot learn through formal education. Cooking, driving, playing guitar, or certain careers like that of a politician or a sports person. Similarly, money can never be learned through formal education. So it is not really a complaint about the formal education, but if we expect the formal education to impart us the awareness about money, then we are having a wrong expectation. At the most, the kind of course Addwit Money Matters can become a good value add-on for the students of higher education program, graduation and above. The youngsters who are now becoming conscious about their career, their finances, and their prosperity. All of them are ambitious, and with right kind of awareness, they will become asset for the society. Educational institutes can think seriously about it. Coming to why should I learn about money? You see, almost everybody has his or her own perspective, but Let me outline three basic drives or the reasons which should help you to make a balanced and correct decision. Number one is that all of us normally pursue the prosperity or finances in terms of the numbers, targets, bank balance, profitability, balance sheet, and so on and so forth. The point here is that there is one aspect of money which is quantitative in nature, very much required, yes. But I'm sure you will agree with me that when we look at the life in a long term perspective, not from a myopic point of view, but if we look at life from a long term perspective, what we really want is that life must be good. So there definitely is a qualitative aspect about money, and this qualitative aspect can be of two categories. One, what we can call financial hygiene, a kind of clarity in every aspect of personal finance on a day to day basis, on a month to month basis, on a year to year basis. And this involves proper record keeping, doing frequent analysis as to how your finances are going, knowing at any point of time what our net worth is, and in our own mind having clear thought processes and glossaries and understanding of the language in which the finance is discussed and managed. So that's about the financial hygiene part of it. And like I mentioned, it happens on a day to day basis, week to week basis, month to month basis, and year to year basis. The second qualitative aspect is about financial happiness. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it is after 5 years or 10 years or 15 years we realize that life is not going the way you had really thought about. Though you worked very hard, though you earned sufficient money. I mean, it is not really difficult to find two persons. Maybe there is person one who has 1 lakh rupees per month of income but is personally as well as financially not very happy, and there is another person who earns half the amount, maybe just 50,000 rupees per month, but is happy both personally and financially. So the second reason why we need to learn about money systematically is to take care of both financial hygiene, which happens on day-to-day basis, and for managing our financial happiness, which happens on a long-term basis, which happens on a societal basis, or which happens on the level of our personal values. The third reason is more interesting, more intriguing, and those of you who relate with it will do a great job in contributing your bit to the society. It is about acquiring ability to teach others about finances and right kind of financial aptitude. You see, it's like driving yourself and teaching someone else driving skill. All of us have our children, our students, youngsters in the society, youngsters in our own team who need some kind of guidance. And if we are able to guide them, lead them, and mentor them properly on the matters of finances, we are going to create a second layer of capable people, people who are able to handle money more effectively compared to simply coming under pressure of the trends and of the media, advertisement, promotions, and other kind of marketing gimmicks. All that is very well organized. Before we can think about what our income is going to be and what is going to be our plans to use that money, it is someone else who knows and kind of conditions us. And before we realize, our decisions are almost already influenced. Without systematically learning about money and without having a proper level of self-discipline, we will just not be able to escape that kind of vicious circle which is around us. There is nothing wrong in being ambitious, and there is nothing wrong in working towards personal prosperity. In fact, in one of my tweets, I had said that being prosperous is most befitting response to almost every life situation. Talking about the return on investment or cost benefit analysis, there are two ways to look at it. One, this program is going to be available on your dashboard for 455 days. 455 days is equal to 1 full year of learning plus 3 months to stay connected with your batchmates, with the instructor, and with the mentors. The course fee is about 30,000 rupees. It may slightly vary from time to time, but if we roughly take the course fee to be 30,000 rupees and divide it by 455 days that it is going to be available to you, then the per day cost is about 65 rupees. Now, with 65 rupees, we cannot even buy a cup of coffee today, or if we hire a cab, we cannot even go 5 kilometers with 65 rupees. So think about it like how 65 rupees is going to help you for learning a skill which will help you not only within your own life, but if you are able to impart that skill to the children, then across the generations. So it's a good investment. The second way to look at the course fee evaluation is that during the course, we are going to learn hundreds of ideas and techniques and methods to take care of your finances, both in terms of thought process, in terms of aptitude, in terms of the techniques, in terms of the habits. So with 30,000 rupees, out of hundreds of ideas that we discuss, maybe using just one idea, either you could save or earn maybe 1.5 lakh rupees, maybe 3 lakh rupees, maybe 30 lakh rupees. I just don't know which one that idea will be. Everybody's life story is different. Factors and circumstances are different. Perceptions and level of discipline is different. But then there are two ways to do the cost benefit analysis. Break it down to per day cost and see what that per day cost of 65 rupees can do for you. If not for learning skills of finances, which will be useful, which will give returns time and again, over and over throughout life and throughout the next generation also. Compare this with spending that money on something like coffee, which will give us some pleasure for maybe half an hour, 1 hour, that's it. And the second way is to look at the possible returns or savings of multiple times, which definitely happens. Finally, to kind of give you confidence about your decision making process, let me add this one perspective that after 3 weeks, you will have one window, if you are not satisfied, to cancel your enrollment into this course. And within the rules of course enrollment cancellation and refund policies of Addwit Institute, the administration will make sure that your refund comes back to you. So it is a safe decision. To build your confidence further, I would encourage you to watch a couple of sample videos which have been embedded below this video. So think about both investment of time and investment of money and the probable outcome from it. If you still have any question after watching this introduction, you can either talk to the Addwit mentors and Addwit counselors at centers, or you can send us an email on care@adwit.org. The admission process is simple. There is an application form and there is going to be a brief personal interaction to kind of understand your point of view, your SOP, the statement of purpose, why you are joining this course. Finally, before closing this introduction, I'd like to say only a few words. You see, I have written this course, so definitely my enthusiasm for presenting the details will be there. But then more important is your commitment to take care of your personal prosperity and financial happiness. Only when your personal commitment to take care of your personal prosperity is higher than my enthusiasm to present these course details, then this course is going to be really a good experience for you. I look forward to meeting you in one of the recorded and live sessions in Addwit Money Matters. Namaste.